Hello, welcome to the screencast, everybody. It's Master Chanel, Mr. S, reporting in from Conestoga, which currently has zero snow, but from what I understand, there might be some snow coming. Hey, bring it on. Ladies and gentlemen, today, speaking of bring it on, we're going to bring on triangular prisms, and we're going to, just like yesterday, find surface area, which is the outside surface of the shape. First of all, here we are, a nice picture of the shape. See it like this. That is a 3D or two-dimensional rendering of a 3D shape, which happens to be a prism. And you'll take note that it's sitting currently on its base, which happens to be a triangle. And that's one thing that sets a triangular prism aside from a rectangular prism, is that the bases are triangles, two to be exact. Then over here we have, what is this thing called? Do you remember? That's right, it's a net. And this net is actually this shape over here broken into its little pieces. I notice there's a base here, a base there, and three faces. 1, 2, 3. Some people call them sides, but faces is what we'll call them. And if I figure out the area of this base, and all three faces, I figure out the surface area of a triangular prism. That's how you have to do it. If you remember, to find the area of a triangle, it's base times half, either times 1/2 or divided by 2. And for the faces, where it is base times height. Comes a shape. There it is. Step 1, I like to take on the triangular bases first, and I need to find the surface area of the triangle. So I see there's a right angle symbol. That's going to be helpful to me right here. That lets me know the triangle's base and height. And oh, look, we broke it into a very nice net, this shape. So I can see I have a shape here, and those are triangles or bases. And then I got 1, 2, nice 2, 3 faces. Taking on the triangle first. To find the area, I would multiply 1/2 times 1 times 9/10. And that comes out to 45 hundredths. We did talk in class today about a bit of a hack when we're dealing with these triangular bases. There happens to be 2 of them, which means at the end I'm going to be multiplying by 2 anyway. Some people just might skip this multiplying times 1/2 step. That's up to you. Then to figure out the sides, we would multiply 2 times 1. Base times height. Here's one of them. And another hack we talked about today, I noticed that when I looked at the triangles, they had all equal sides. We call that a equilateral triangle, which means all the faces will be the same too. So I found the area of one of the rectangular prisms. Let me do a little erasing here, and we're going to write some numbers in. Where are you? I'm going to let me do the erasing first. Here it comes. Perfect. So after I figure out, by using the formulas that I already know, the areas of each shape, I can just simply write them in. So for this shape, it's 0.45. Same for this one. And each one of these is 2. At the end, all I need to do then is add all the areas that I figured out to find the surface area. It comes out to 6 9/10 square centimeters. And so we're talking about surface area, our label will be squared. That's what that looks like. Now, that was equilateral. Next is a triangle. That is not, as you can see. And also the base is kind of tilted and facing toward us. I see the base, and some of the hardest bits of this geometry stuff is seeing the shapes. Here's the base. And the thing that told me that immediately was our little right angle symbol right here. I saw that triangle. We're going to have to figure out the triangle. Let's see. What would this look like as a net? All right. There's a net. Well, it's not really a net, but it's dissected this whole shape into its 5 different pieces. First of all, we see the triangles. They're going to be the same. Think about what you might multiply together to figure out the area of just one. That's right. I'm so glad you didn't say 17. I would multiply 8 times 15 and times 1/2 or divided by 2. Again, if you just do 8 times 15, that would cover both of these shapes. And then to find the area of the other 3 shapes, multiply base times height, base times height, base times height. Triangles, each one is 60. So let's just write our 60s in there. And then our rectangles, let's take a look at those. All right. We have the 15 by 20, which is 15 times 20, which equals 300. We have the 17 by 20, or 17 times 20, which is 340. And last but not least, the smallest bit, that would be, by the way, the bit back here, 160. Think a second. If I know all the pieces and I need to figure out the total, keyword, surface area, what would I do? Right, I would add. That would give me all the surface area. So in this case, it's 920 square meters. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you find surface area. One thing that we had recommended is that when you're looking at the shapes, if you would write in different colors, use different colored pencils to map out all the shapes that are in these 3D renderings, that might be helpful too. We're going to work a lot more on these tomorrow if we don't have snow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you find the surface area of a triangular prism, and that's the maths you should know.